Hello, you're welcome. In my last video, I talked about being a mobile software developer who specializes in building native Android applications. Now, why building native apps? In mobile software development, we have different categories of app development, but I'm going to be treating three categories today, which is the most important categories. So we have the native developers, we have the hybrid developers, and then we have the cross-platform developers. A native developer specializes on a particular framework or platform that is natively supported by that technology. We have the iOS developers, and then we have the Android developers. Those sets of people, they use the normal native development platforms to build apps. For Android developer, he uses Android Studio and then the programming language, which is Kotlin, to build applications that supports different Android devices. You know, we have a variety of Android devices with different screen dimensions and different platform versions. So the advantage of using a native approach to building apps that supports Android is that it improves on scalability, it improves on performance, and then user experience, such that when you develop the app, you can install on different mobile devices, whether it has a small dimension, whether it has a large dimension, in terms of screen sizes, and also the different platform versions which are supported. And then for an iOS developer, he uses Xcode as his development environment, and then the natively supported language is Swift. When an iOS developer uses these tools, it enables him to develop smooth applications that runs on iPhones, iPad, and then iWatch, so as to have a good user experience. You cannot use that of Android Studio to develop apps that work on iPhones. No, they are different platforms altogether. So an iOS developer is more focused on building apps that works on iPhone, iPad, and iWatch, while a native Android developer is more concerned about building apps that works on Android devices, Android TV, and then we have Android watches and other Android products that are compatible with those apps. We have hybrid apps. Hybrid apps are more of a web development strategy which uses an application container to portray the web as an app. So it's more of a web development platform which uses HTML, JavaScript, PHP, and the rest to develop a web which serves as a container for mobile devices. I have two examples for hybrid apps. The first one is React Native, and then the second one is Xamarin. For React Native, it is created and powered by Facebook. And then for Xamarin, I leave it to you as an assignment, you will find out. And then last but not the least, we have cross-platform applications. I know so many of you have heard about cross-platform applications, which the popular one is Flutter. I know so many of you have heard about Flutter. What cross-platform apps usually do is they try to simulate that native nature of iOS development and then Android development to bring out two applications for those two platforms. So the idea here is using a single code base to generate an app that can both run on iOS and run on Android, which natively is not supported. So they are in cross-platform development. Once you master the language, you master the framework, you are able to develop two applications. So instead of being a native developer, you are combining the both. So you are both an Android developer and an iOS developer. if you are good with cross-platform apps.